Imagine a penguin that lives at the equator, swimming in warm waters instead of icy seas. Now imagine what happens when the ocean itself turns against it. Picture this: a small, black and white bird waddling across volcanic rock, not Antarctic ice. This is the Galápagos penguin, the only penguin species that lives north of the equator. It's adapted to a life of sun, warm currents, and tropical fish. But every few years, something shifts in the Pacific Ocean. The winds change. The water warms, the fish vanish. This is El Niño, and for the Galápagos penguin, it's a fight for survival. To understand how this tropical penguin survives, we first need to see how perfectly it's adapted to its unusual home. Most penguins live in cold climates, surrounded by freezing water and endless ice. But the Galápagos penguin evolved in isolation on these volcanic islands, where the water is cool but not cold, thanks to the Humboldt current. This current brings nutrient-rich waters up from the depths, feeding massive schools of fish, the penguin's main food source. The penguins are masters of efficiency. They nest in rocky crevices and lava tubes to avoid the equatorial sun. They breed when the water is coolest and food is abundant. Their small size helps them stay cool, and they've learned to hunt in small groups, diving for sardines and mullet in the clear blue waters. For most of the year, life is good. The population stabilizes, chicks fledge, the rhythm of the islands continues, but then everything changes. El Niño arrives. El Niño begins far out in the Pacific when trade winds weaken or reverse. Warm water that usually sits in the western Pacific slides east, piling up along the coast of South America. In the Galápagos, this means the cool, nutrient-rich Humboldt current gets pushed down or disappears entirely. The ocean's surface warms by several degrees. That might not sound like much, but in an ecosystem built on specific temperatures, it's catastrophic. The first thing that happens is the food web collapses. Phytoplankton, the tiny plants that form the base of the ocean food chain, depend on cool, nutrient-rich water. When the water warms, they die off. Small fish that eat phytoplankton starve. Larger fish either leave or die. For the Galápagos penguin, the buffet closes overnight, but the hunger is only the beginning. Warmer water means the penguins can't regulate their body temperature during long dives. They overheat. They become exhausted. Breeding stops. Why lay eggs if there's no food to feed the chicks? In severe El Niño events, like the one in 1982, nearly 80% of the adult penguins died. The population dropped to just a few hundred individuals. Many believed they wouldn't recover, so how did they survive? Through a combination of sheer resilience and a little help from their environment. The first key is their unusual breeding strategy. Unlike many birds, Galápagos penguins don't have a fixed breeding season. They can nest whenever conditions are right. So after an El Niño passes and the ocean cools again, they can breed multiple times in a single year, a phenomenon called opportunistic breeding. They're essentially making up for lost time, rushing to rebuild their numbers before the next disaster. The second key is geography. Not all parts of the Galápagos are affected equally by El Niño. The western islands, bathed by the cooler Cromwell current, sometimes remain productive even when the east is barren. Penguins that survive in these pockets become refuges, the founders of the next generation. They keep the genetic diversity alive. The third, and perhaps most surprising, factor is their ability to adapt their behavior. During warm years, researchers have observed penguins resting more in the shade, swimming less, and even changing their diving patterns to avoid overheating. They've learned to fast for longer periods. Some move to deeper, cooler waters. It's not a perfect solution, but it keeps them alive until the good times return, and return they do. After an El Niño, the system doesn't just go back to normal, it often rebounds with incredible force. The phenomenon called La Niña brings cooler, nutrient-rich waters surging back. Phytoplankton blooms. Fish populations explode. And the penguins? They launch into a reproductive frenzy. Pairs that survived the lean years now raise clutch after clutch, slowly rebuilding what was lost today. The Galápagos penguin remains the rarest penguin in the world, with only around 2,000 individuals. It's endangered, and climate change is making El Niño events more frequent and intense. But it's also a symbol of wild adaptability. This little bird has survived volcanic eruptions, introduced predators, and countless ocean warming events, not by being the strongest or the fastest, but by being flexible. By waiting, by seizing every small opportunity. Its story reminds us that resilience isn't about resisting change. It's about riding the waves, even when the ocean itself seems to turn against you. Which animal do you think has the most surprising survival story? Let me know in the comments. Your suggestion could be the focus of our next video.